Thank you for joining us. This is Title Time, and I'm Tony Barber, and I'm here with Tim Robel. Tim, could you please tell me a little about yourself?
Wow, where to start? I'm 55 years old. I did 22 years in the Air Force.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you. Machinist welder. During all that time, I always had a fab shop going. Super passionate about off-road and kind of having specialty vehicles, and everything that I got into, I wanted to modify. So that took another tool and kind of did that. When I retired from the Air Force, I had a fab shop, which kind of went hand in hand with riding motorcycles. Been riding motorcycles now 52 and a half years.
52 and a half out of 55. That's
Yeah,
quite a long time, sir.
not bad. My dad started me real young at a lot of things, and still the things I do today. Motorcycles is probably my number one thing. And in 2011, I started seeing some things for this world's toughest one-day race called King of the Motos.
King of the Motos. It's got quite a catchy title.
It does. And I like hard things. And so I was like, hey, maybe I want to do this. And then I found out it was kind of like an invite-only type deal where they were going to invite 20 of the world's best to come out and race this inaugural race out here in Johnson Valley, real close to 29 Palms. It shares the same borders. And so I started pushing on the forums, kind of used that Evel Knievel thing when he was going to jump the fountains at Caesars. He made the calls and he was like, hey, have you heard about this Evel Knievel guy that's going to jump the fountains? So he raised the hype. Well, I kind of took a little bit after that Evel Knievel thing, and I pushed on all the forums and put pictures up because I was a trials rider, still am today. But
excuse me, what is a trials rider?
A trials rider is it's kind of that rocky boulder log. You ride a loop that has 10 observed sections with a checker at each section. And so when you come into this section, you ride these, up these little cliffs and logs or waterfalls or whatever they have set up for you to ride. And
Waterfalls too.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep. And he'll give you when you put your foot down, that's a point. And you got to keep your feet up on the pegs. You want to kind of keep moving a little bit and maintain your balance. And 5 is the maximum you can get per section. And the lowest points at the end of the day wins. And it's just really, it's probably the most complicated, the most finesse motorcycling that exists.
So it's not all about speed then?
It's not. It's about balance and control, clutch and throttle and loading and unloading the bike and understanding how to hold pressure on the rear tire for traction and balance. It's really, it's not something that just comes overnight. It's something you got to work at.
I think we had talked about this before, and I believe you said that you did well in the last one.
I just won our last event. I was super happy with that. And they had vintage trophies that somebody donated back from like 1968 to 1973. And 72 is when I started kind of riding. And I said, man, I want a 72 trophy. So I was lucky enough to be able to get that first pick to get the trophy that I wanted. So
that's very
that
cool.
one's super special to me.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
And you just got it too.
I did. Yeah, just a couple last month.
Oh, that's
as a matter of fact. Yeah,
super exciting.
Yeah.
And I know you're a fabricator, builder. I mean, we live down the street from you, and you have these amazing vehicles that you built frame up, right?
Correct. Yep. I used to build just out of tube, like off-road cars, rock crawlers. Kind of did one of the first prequel King of the Hammer cars, a Ultra 4 car is what's called. Kind of like something that does real well in the desert. Rock crawls, just kind of a really do-all robust car. And built a couple of those. But the motorcycle thing always, because I don't have a whole lot of people behind me. I don't have a big budget. So I always tend to come back to that core deal with the motorcycle. The motorcycle is just you and a machine, and it's probably a 50% balance of machine and 50% athlete that rides it.
Right on.
So
And as I understand, you refer to yourself as an adventure athlete. Is that correct?
correct. After I finished my first King of the Motos, we kind of came up with this thing on Facebook called What's Next. And after you do something that's super hard, super epic, and then that event is over, there's nothing more to train for. What's next? What's going to be the next thing? So I kind of, when that in my head, that's when I came up with Adventure.Athlete. And what that is just kind of training for these. Maybe you're not riding a full season of this hardcore motorcycle thing or whatever you're doing, but you're taking on challenges. The last challenge I just took on was to become a paramotor pilot.
A paramotor pilot. Can you tell me what a paramotor pilot is, please?
A paramotor is kind of like you have a wing above you that is like a parachute. It's fabric, but it's called a wing. And then you have basically a backpack with a dirt bike motor and a prop on the back.
Wow.
And you kind of run along as you're giving it power with this wing overhead, and you get everything stabilized and you get up off the ground and you fly around. It's kind of one of the lowest, probably the lowest thing you can get into flying, that or paragliding or hang gliding. That's like the lowest form, I think, for a person to fly.
By lowest, you mean lowest elevation?
Not so much elevation, but just lowest cost entry and the most, you're not in a cockpit, you're not in an aircraft, you're actually kind of the aircraft.
So you refer to the a fabric wing. So the motor on your backpack on your back helps to create the lift?
No, you kind of get the wing up above you, and then you start applying power, and then that, as you're running, is starting to provide the lift to kind of suck you up out of the off the ground.
Very interesting.
But it's about taking on those hard challenges of just doing something that's a little bit more difficult. I consider myself just a very average dude that just says yes a lot more. Let's go try something hard. And that King of the Motos race, going back to that's the one that I've raced it 5 times and I have not finished it.
Wow.
It's one.
Do you intend to race it again?
I do. Right now I'm, as we're speaking right now, my last part for my motorcycle build that I'm building for it is coming in, but this race is less than a month away, and there's in shape and then there's motorcycle shape. So your hands, your tendons and everything need a little bit to adapt. Although I've been riding trials, I ride the mountain bike 150 to 200 miles a week. It's not the same as having that motorcycle pulling and the muscles and everything that you have to use to ride the motorcycle. So my answer is I still have to the 28th of this month to sign up.
Very cool.
And so we'll see. I got to be smart about it too, because I don't want a hardcore injury because I came into it underprepared.
Of course not. And for motorcycle shape, do you get in better motorcycle shape just by riding a motorcycle more?
Correct. Like I'm in probably at 55, I'm probably in some of the better shape I've been. I could take off today and do a half marathon. I could take off today and go ride 100 miles on the bike. Just last year, I just did down and up at Grand Canyon. So went down, South Kaibab and up Bright Angel. And that was
how long is that, by the way?
Yeah, it ended up being about 26 miles total because I lost my truck at the top. And I had that, I did it on Strava, so I know it was like 26.2, so like a marathon.
I got that.
Yeah, I wanted to cry when I couldn't find my truck.
I've been on long hikes before and had issues, so I get it. Never quite 26 that I'm aware of, but good for you.
I came out of the top and wandered around for about a mile, and then Google Maps on my phone, and only had 14% left on it, says parked car like 4.2 miles away. I'm like, what a savior that is. But man, now I got to really dig deep because I already dug deep to get out of the canyon.
Of course.
And doing that in one day. And I did that on an empty stomach, intermittent fasted.
Oh my goodness.
Never ate, just drank water and electrolytes.
Wow.
So,
yeah, I don't think I could.
Yeah.
I know I couldn't do that. Certainly not in the shape I'm in, but I think it's great that you're in that shape. I understand you have a couple of other interesting vehicles as well. You want to share with me anything about those?
I built my Adventure truck, which is kind of called Adventure.1, and it's just a GMC Canyon with a kind of like a cab over camper that's purpose built for it. But it's got a little wood burning stove. It's got a porta potty, hot water shower, sink. It's fully self-contained in just this little package. And during COVID, I sat in that and kind of designed my next build. I'm like, wow, if I'm going to be an adventure athlete, I want to have something that can service things. So I built a 6-wheel drive 1089 military wrecker, had it delivered to me with bare frame rails, and built that as a purpose-built adventure base. And it's got all of the good stuff in it. I mean, ionized water and a Berkey filter, and I filter water coming in, and like everything about it is just this health conscious thing.
Well, and I've had the pleasure of visiting it, and it is an amazing vehicle, but moreover, you have a full shop in it.
Full shop, mill, lathe, MIG, TIG welder, all the tools that built it are in it, and it's set up for self-recovery. The entire rig has 2,750 watts of solar on it and runs 100% off-grid. There's nowhere to even plug it in. 1,850 amp hours of lithium ion phosphate battery, 75-inch TV in it, Starlink. I mean, it's really, I can upload I have a YouTube channel. I can upload my videos now. I can do everything remote. I can go out and fly. I also have an electric paramotor that charges off of that.
Oh, wow. My
trials motorcycle is electric. I have a electric full-size motorcycle coming, a Stark Varg, that will charge off of it. So the end is to be able to be out remote and do these sports without having to have a resupply of fuel and still just go enjoy your day. That's
an amazing goal and the thing that you're pretty close to realizing.
It's been 3 years in the full making, and right now I'm just kind of selling off the rest of the stuff around, and I want to go do a 2 to 5 year trip with my wife and the dogs of just living a van life XL with all the amenities.
That is amazing. And I'm sure the people that are listening to Title Time will very much appreciate having heard it. And I really appreciate you coming in for this interview, Tim. This has been Tony Barber and Tim Robel with Title Time. And thank you very much for your time, sir.
You're welcome.
Have a great day.
Enjoyed it. You
Peace.
too. Cheers.